Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this session. The topic of our discussion is style democracy, how influencers are democratizing fashion. And we have a very lovely set of influencers here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I want to start with you, Insha, and first get a bird's eye view on how is the role of fashion influencers today in this era of digital. How do you see the entire picture?
I think fashion industry has seen a huge evolution after the fashion influencers have come into the picture. They have actually portrayed the fashion industry in a very realistic way. It's like they've bridged the gap between manufacturers and the consumers in a way where they are depicting their personal style and being very true to their own self, and then audience actually kind of relate to the content you're posting. So yeah, I think there has been a huge difference in fashion industry after the social media has taken place.
Absolutely, and I think it's just the beginning.
Absolutely.
Mohak, want to understand from you if you can share an example, आपके personal journey से, the power of social media in illustrating how the fashion landscape has evolved, how the trends are shaping up.
सबसे पहले तो आई एम सो ग्लैड इटी डिटेल्स मुझे यहाँ इनवाइट किया है एंड देखो फैशन का ऐसा है कि टाइम के साथ साथ फैशन चेंज होता रहता है और सोशल मीडिया की वजह से मुझे ऐसा लगता है एक महीने में ही दूसरा फैशन स्टार्ट हो जाता है। पहले एटलीस्ट 6 मंथ्स 1 ईयर तक कोई फैशन रहता था, बट राइट नाउ ऐसा है कि चलो उसने ये डाला है तो हम ये ट्राई करते हैं। अभी जैसे मैंने रिसेंट खुद भी देखता हूँ, लोगों को फॉलो करता हूँ, जो मुझे अच्छा लगता है मैं ट्राई करता हूँ। रिसेंटली के फैशन बहुत ट्रेंड में था और इंडिया में मैंने देखा नहीं कि क्रिएटर्स ये सब कर रहे थे, तो मैंने ट्राई किया, मैंने वो आउटफिट कैरी किया, जैसे वो शॉपिंग करने जाते थे मॉल में साइड बैग कैरी करके, मैंने रियल लाइफ में ट्राई किया, कंटेंट बनाया और मुझे काफ़ी उससे मतलब रीच अच्छा आया, जो कि फैशन को फॉलो कर रहे थे या जो कोरियन सीरीज देख रहे थे वो सब चीज़ें। तो या
Okay, wonderful. Sakshi, want to get your thoughts. As a brand, as consumers, actually, we see a lot of, runway designs. Celebrity has worn something, there are airport looks and so much more. But when I come to your platform, how do you make sure that I take away a style which I can actually carry? I mean, carrying a celebrity style is difficult for me, but how do you bridge that gap?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, a question that's been asked a few times now, and I think my answer has always remained the same, that I don't try. I don't try to fit in a certain norm. I don't try to sort of replicate, trends or other people's style. And I don't think I have a style which is just that one style. I think I keep trying to evolve my style, and honestly what I'm feeling through the day is what I'm wearing. How do I bridge the gap between high fashion and realistic fashion is honestly showing sustainability. Like for example, I'm carrying a very fancy bag today, but it's little do people know that it's taken I don't come from I come from a middle class family, so it's taken me a lot of time to actually reach the place to be able to afford high fashion stuff, even if I come from an industry where now I get to work with incredible names such as Jimmy Choo, Manish Malhotra, Gaurav Gupta, all of those fantastic people. But I keep re-wearing the stuff that I try to show sustainability in that way. I try supporting more homegrown brands, and I definitely on everyday basis try to show more realistic, authentic stuff that people can actually wear on the streets. And I don't try to fit in a mold, and I don't think there's anything wrong with fitting into a mold. I personally try to just wear what feels right to me and authentic to me.
Wonderful. Insha, just building on what Sakshi said, in this process of remaining authentic, what are the key challenges a personal brand like yours faces, and what has been your strategy towards it?
I think, it's a cutthroat competition right now on social media already. So I feel it's very important to have your credibility to sustain for a longer time. Um, it's very important to have your true self in the picture. No matter what you wear, you should be comfortable about what you are wearing. There are a lot of people who are just promoting stuff and in the name of promoting stuff. So I think to being authentic, you should have your catch. I mean, if anybody sees your content, they should know that yeah, it's her content. So there has to be something different about what you are posting. Even if it's okay to get influenced, it's okay to get influenced, but not just randomly copying stuff would really work, I think. And I think another thing, I think it's all about being true to your own style, no matter what you just keep your own touch into whatever you're posting, what are you wearing, and the kind of fashion you're promoting.
Okay. Mohak, when we look at the entire men's lifestyle segment, it has been a little black box. There has not been much traction, and it's, I believe, very challenging to create lifestyle and fashionable content for men, right? What were the challenges you faced? How did you strategize that you want to cater to this audience? And how do you make sure that you create content which is replicated, which people actually, like, which gets shared?
So सबसे मेन ये है कि रिलेटेबल रहना, ठीक है। अगर कोई आपको रिलेट कर पाएगा जब भी आपको फॉलो करेगा। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है फैशन ऐसी फील्ड है कि हर बंदा हर पोस्ट से रिलेट नहीं कर सकता है। सपोज आज के दिन मैं ट्रेडिशनल वेयर कर रहा हूँ तो हर बंदा उसको रिलेट नहीं कर पाएगा। सपोज मैं कुछ फंकी वेयर कर रहा हूँ तो हर कोई फंकी नहीं डालता है। तो सबका अपना अलग अलग जोनर है। उसके अंदर जो मेरा एक मेन पार्ट है, मैं क्या करता हूँ, सपोज मैंने कुछ आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स कुछ वेयर किया है तो उसके अंदर मैं पीओवी कुछ ऐसा डालता हूँ जो लोग रिलेट कर पाएँ, या मैं अपनी फीड को मेंटेन करके चलता हूँ। सपोज अगर आज के दिन मैंने बहुत फंकी वेयर किया है, कुछ पोस्ट डाला है जिसमें मैं आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स कुछ वेयर किया हुआ है, तो नेक्स्ट मैं ट्राई करता हूँ कि थोड़ा सिंपल हो जो हर कोई रिलेट कर पाए। तो टाइम के साथ साथ चेंज करना पड़ता है। और मेन बात है कि हाँ ऑब्वियसली कि लड़कों में हम ज़्यादा नहीं, हमारे पास ऑप्शन नहीं है, तो वही है, एक थोड़ा एक्सेसरी चेंज कर ली या कलर्स के साथ, लोकेशन के साथ। लोकेशन बहुत मैटर करती है। सपोज मैं एक आउटफिट डाल के प्लेन बैकग्राउंड पे खड़ा हूँ और यही अगर मैं ट्रेडिशनल डाल के किसी हिस्टोरिकल प्लेस के बाहर खड़ा हूँ तो वो वैसे मैं अपना थोड़ा लोकेशन पे ज़्यादा ध्यान देता हूँ, उस वजह से थोड़ा मैनेज हो जाता है।
बेस्ड ऑन द डेटा दैट यू गेट, आपके पोस्ट पे जो ट्रैक्शन आता है, आर मेन रियली गियरिंग अप टू make fashionable choices? Is there a shift in how men used to think about fashion earlier and how they are thinking about it today?
टाइम के साथ साथ चेंज हो रहा है, पूरा तो चेंज नहीं हुआ है ऑब्वियसली। कि अगर मैं कुछ आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स डालने की कोशिश करता हूँ तो हेट भी मिलता है। लड़के कहते हैं अरे ये क्या डाल रहा है, क्या कर रहा है। तो धीरे धीरे लोग समझ रहे हैं। स्टार्टिंग में हेट ज़्यादा मिलता था अलग अलग इवेंट, बट राइट नाउ लोगों को समझ आ गया कि भाई कैरी कैसे करना है। हाँ ऐसा होता है, क्योंकि जब देखो कोई अगर आउटफिट सेलिब्रिटी डाल रहा है तो वो ओके है कि ऑडियंस को एक्सेप्टेबल है कि हाँ यार ये सेलिब्रिटी ये डाल सकता है। और वही इन्फ्लुएंसर डाल लेगा ना तो उनको रहता है यार इसने ये क्या डाल लिया, ये क्या डाला हुआ है, तो वो रहता है। बट ठीक है, धीरे धीरे लोगों को समझ आ रहा है कि क्या है क्या नहीं।
Got it. Sakshi, in the fashion influencer space, you have been very vocal about inclusivity, right? Promoting diversity. What has been the strategy on, making sure that your content includes and touches on these points? And how did you make sure that people relate to it? It's not just about using the keywords, but actually generating that kind of content, that kind of style. So what has been the strategy and also learnings in this process?
I mean, not a lot of people know about this actually, but I started my journey on YouTube. And I think the first thing, the reason why I started was because I could not see representation in the magazines that my sister was so obsessed with. So my entire life, really, I was just, I used to see her being subscribed to every single magazine. I'm not kidding. We used to get like subscriptions from the US and, everywhere. I could not see my body type. And of course, there was a lot of bullying and a lot of shame that was attached to, my body type back in the day. I mean, it's so much better now that we're becoming more aware of it. So, मैंने ठान ली थी really to, like talk about something which is so, like, I was sick of waiting around for somebody to come and change my life and give me some hope. So I decided to become that light of hope for myself. That was the intention with which I started. And then I shifted on Instagram and I just realized, I am not the kind of a person who was meant to be, like held in a box. The bird box situation is not for me, clearly. My body type is not for a box anyway. So, I genuinely, I wanted to sort of break those boundaries. I want to break those stereotypes because I don't know why stereotypes existed. I think people make their own stereotypes and I think people can only break those stereotypes at the end of the day. And it's honestly so much easier, right, when we get to wear what we want to wear instead of thinking what other people have to say about our choices. Ultimately, we have to understand that their opinion of us cannot be louder and bigger than our opinions of ourselves. And fashion is, for me, it's not to prove a point, it's not to make other people happy, it's to make me happy. And I stand by it every single day. Try to do my best every single day. Diversity and inclusivity is literally my bread and butter. Not just that, it's my heart and soul. I want to change the industry for good. I want to challenge the norms. I'm not afraid to challenge the norms. I've gone into the biggest rooms, sat with the biggest people and asked them, why the fat tax? Why aren't there models on the ramp? Why couldn't I see more inclusive models during couture week? Considering that majority of Indian body types are actually between the size 14 and the size 16, so you really are selling those bigger pieces, but you're not showing real bodies in your campaigns, in your catalogs on the ramp, and that was really sad to me. Slowly and steadily, I could change that, and that was really yeah, but a long way to go, obviously.
Wonderful. Thank you for such an honest answer. Insha, same question to you. Being skinny is also a big challenge, right? And people get trolled for that. How has been your strategy in generating your content to, sort of target and work towards such notions?
I think honestly, there's a lot of hate on social media. If you're fat, you get hate. If you're thin, you get hate. So I remember I've had comments that people say, "कुछ खा लिया करो, कुछ कभी कुछ मतलब कि घर वाले खाना नहीं देते and all that stuff." So हाँ, I have gotten stuff and hate like that, but I think I never really paid any heed to it. I was just focused on what I wanted and the kind of, and I know like, if I'm wearing something and if it suits my body type, if it doesn't suit my body type, I can figure it out. But yes, I think I did not quite face a lot of challenge regarding the body, I would say body shaming. But yeah, there again, social media is full of hate, and no matter what you do, you are going to get hated for anything and everything. To be honest,
So ignorance is bliss.
ignorance is the bliss. I just delete comment. You don't exist.
Great. Before we wrap this conversation up, I want to get closing comments from you all, and I want to start with you, Mohak. Going forward, in terms of technology, there's live commerce, there's AR, there's VR. In the fashion influencer space, what do you think is going to be the big trend?
ओके सो जैसे अभी एआई है, ठीक है, तो मुझे जहाँ तक लगता है, जो मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन है, एआई क्रिएटिव नहीं हो सकता है. सपोज जो मैं सोच रहा हूँ मेरे अकाउंट के लिए, वो मुझे वही चीज़ें बताएगा जो ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट है. आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स मुझे नहीं बता सकता है. तो मेरे कंटेंट के अंदर मैं उससे जो हेल्प मांगता हूँ, सपोज मैं कल एक वीडियो शूट करके आया और मैंने अपना पूरा एडिट वेट कर लिया, जितना इतना टाइम मुझे वीडियो बनाने में नहीं लगा जितना मैं कैप्शन में अभी तक कंफ्यूज हूँ. मैंने अभी तक अपलोड नहीं किया वो, तो मैंने एआई से हेल्प ली, एआई से. तो उसमें कहीं ना कहीं क्लोज हूँ मैं, तो वहाँ पे एआई की हेल्प है. सपोज कभी कभार हमें ब्रांड से कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट आती है कि हमें ये बैकग्राउंड चाहिए, ये एडिट चाहिए, एडिटर बिजी होते हैं बहुत बार, उनका ऑफ होता है, तो एआई वहाँ पे थोड़ा एडिटिंग में हेल्प कर देता है. और अभी ब्रांड कैंपेन भी मैंने देखा है, मैंने रिसेंट खुद किया, जिसके अंदर ब्रांड ने मेरे को रोबोट बना दिया. लाइक वीडियो चल रही है उसमें, वो बाद में फिर रोबोट की तरह मैं उसको प्रमोट कर रहा हूँ. तो बहुत सारी जगह पे वो हेल्प कर रहा है. सो या
Okay. And I think that caption issue is with all of us.
I did not know that this is. I'm clearly working with the wrong brand. The AI is not helping me write captions on it and helping me edit. It's
This is an
fantastic.
offline conversation we need to have. Sakshi, I want to know from you the next big trend in influencer marketing, right? What are brands telling you guys? What is the next big thing?
I think how I see is that influencer marketing is going to change a lot, because this is the first generation really where brands are learning, creators are learning, we're making a lot of mistakes, we're making some really great, काफी छक्के भी मार रहे हैं हम in terms of nailing certain campaigns, and brands are putting in the best foot forward in terms of creating briefs. But what I see is that in terms of integration of brands and storytelling will change. I think creators started, as much as I can see, at least from my point of view in fashion, that brands started with giving a lot of freedom to creators to create certain kind of content and really bring in their creativity and integrate content. That's how we started, and integrate the brand. And slowly and steadily, I think it sort of started moving into brands giving more harder briefs where creativity sort of started going down and storytelling went down. There was just like, we need the brand to be spoken about in the first second itself. We don't care about the storyline, all of those things, and I think that shift was happening. But I do see why that was happening, and I do see why it's necessary to now come into this space where a balance is created, where we're able to justify influencer marketing and talking about the brands, but also how important it is to abide by creativity. Another thing that I see is very shortly is how smartly you can integrate content in 10-second video bites, 15-second elements, and how smartly that can be done. Long-term associations, I think I'm definitely, it's already such a huge, not trend, but it's happening overseas where, influencers are now becoming brand representatives and spokesperson. And I do see that coming in India. It's already started happening, but I do see a lot more happening. I don't know how many of you guys remember the excellent Fanta campaign that they did with Kusha, and I think Dolly was on the toothpaste commercial, and how a lot of bigger brands are now looking at influencers to sort of make them the faces. I do see that happening, and I think a lot of stereotypes that are now attached to influencers will definitely go down. I mean, you guys see the hard work that we put in. There's no denying that.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Insha, same question to you, in terms of influencer marketing, the next big trend.
I think, again, yes, I feel now brands are going to realize that, it's time to get more organic rather than just giving a script and, making content around it. So it's better you just, I personally feel my content, if you just look at my content, it goes way better, if it's done organically. If I've scripted it myself, there hasn't been a lot of changes. So I think brands should be more focused on creating content organically rather than putting just a script, putting up like a commercial ad on TV. I mean, they can do it in the other way, like if they want it that way. So yes, I think this is one thing that I feel should be a next trend, should be the next trend, that is being more organic on what you're promoting. And I also feel next time, I mean, that's just my suggestion, that but brands should let people, the influencers, come up with their opinions about the product after using the product, not just blindly say that this product this ye karta hai, wo karta hai. You just can't do that. So I think this is one thing that I feel should be a change, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But yes, I think having content more organically promoted is much better than just creating a commercial TV ad, a lot of logos on it. So yes, I think that's a better way to influencer marketing.
Before we take some questions from the audience, I want to know who is the next, influencer that you guys are really tracking and not the ones on stage. Sakshi, starting with you.
I think I've been really loving Mansi's content. I think her name is Mansi Ugle. I don't want to mess up her name, but she's she's a young Gen Z creator who's putting in the work, who's showing something different in terms of fashion, and I think she's showing a lot of inclusivity. That's very special. I think I'm really looking forward to seeing her content blow up. There are so many incredible comedians that I cannot remember the names of, but I see them. The thing with creators is that they're not just reaching, of course, the millennials and the Gen Zs, but they're reaching people like my mom. And how much they're influencing our parents, like RJ Karishma. Oh my God, my mom has a certain obsession with Karishma.
That's the same with my mom. She loves the horse. She keeps sending me her reels.
Yeah. So I do see so many so many creators. ये time है यार creators का honestly.
अभी राइट नाउ मेरे माइंड में कोई भी ऐसा स्पेसिफिक नाम नहीं है, बट मैं देख रहा हूँ सब अपने अकॉर्डिंग क्रिएटिव कर रहे हैं, और मैं ट्राई करता हूँ कि जो कुछ अच्छा कर रहा है उससे कुछ इंस्पायर होकर सीखूँ. बहुत सारे क्रिएटर्स हैं, फील्ड बढ़ता जा रहा है, हर रोज फॉर यू सेक्शन पे नए नए क्रिएटर्स, नए नए लोग. सो स्पेसिफिक ऐसा कोई भी मेरे माइंड में नेम नहीं है.
Same. I don't think I remember names, but RJ Karishma again is like one of my favorite. I'm like glued to her profile all the time. What is she posting? When is she posting? And yeah, I think and if we have to be very particular, I think Komal Pandey is on another level again. So she's doing very well. Again, I don't have a lot of names, but there's so many creators, and Gen Z creators have come in these days. So you can't really figure out who's who, but yeah, their content is like next level.
Thank you for this. Before we wrap up, if there are any questions in the audience, yeah, can we get the mic there?
Hi, I'm from Glam Story. We are handcrafted Punjabi jutis manufacturer and D2C brand. I just want to ask a question. How to shortlist a right influencer to promote a particular brand like Indian handicraft?
So we didn't, I couldn't hear your question. If you can please.
How to shortlist the right influencer to promote our brand? Like we are into Indian handicraft footwear. So how to shortlist a particular influencer so that it can give us the a shot back to increase the brand value and all. Thank you. Tough question.
Not at all, actually. I think I do see a lot of brands facing this issue. I think the best thing to do is firstly understand what is your key demographic as a brand. If you said you're working out of, your brand is based out of Chandigarh. Did I get that wrong? Or
No, we are from Gurgaon only.
Gurgaon, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I missed that, but like understanding where your market lies, who is your target customer, what's your price point like, and then sort of honestly you have to do the research work to actually go and see a bunch of creators online, seeing how authentic they are, how many people are actually engaging with them, what is the kind of audience engaging with their post,
And the
what are
problem
they
is there is
commenting
an
about.
abundance of influencers over there on the social media. So there is abundance of social influencers over there. Lots
Right.
of influencers.
Right.
So there is a tough point to shortlist a right mixture of that particular influencer for our brand.
Um, I think honestly the brand has to आपकी ethos brand की ethos and creator की ethos similar होनी चाहिए. What you guys talk about and how you guys talk about, you have to sync with that creator's aesthetic. That's important. अगर आपको लगता है कि वो आपकी brand story अच्छे से बता पाएगा तो वो आपके लिए सही creator है. And yeah, see the authenticity. Who is following that creator? Are they the kind of is that an audience that can actually go ahead and buy your product? Are they able to influence the audience to actually become long-term customers for you? That's important, and that can only happen if you follow that creator for a little while. You have to do the work
We
to
should
research.
focus on the content instead of focusing on the followers which influencers are having.
It's a tough balance. I don't think you should sort of um, think about one thing only. I think you can think about brand awareness as well as actual sales coming to you. But no magic happens with one piece of content or one story given to your brand. You have to, as much as it's work, and it can't be एक बार invest किया you'll get like some magic out of it. You might, if you work with the right creators, you just might. But influencer marketing is a long-term game. You have to put in the work to do the research and figure out
It's
the
a
right
regular
creators for you.
exercise. Like
It's a regular exercise, yes.
And I think
Thank you.
Sakshi very rightly pointed out there's a lot of research that has to go into
Yeah.
it. Absolutely. Great. Can we take one more question? We have 2 minutes at hand. Yeah. Can we get... Okay. Question, anyone? No? Okay. I think we have covered all the important points, and thank you so much for all the inputs, guys. And this was a really insightful session. And the fact that we have content creators and influencers, right, on stage to discuss about how the future of fashion industry will shape up speaks volumes about the contribution the creator economy is giving us. So that's a wrap. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much.